Welcome to part one of our 2-day part for doing insulation into the Outlaw cabin. So today we're going to be putting this stuff up. This is spray foam insulation and is a do-it-yourself kit that you can buy off of Amazon and do your own insulation for your spray foam. The particular one that we're using today is called Magic Chems PU foam, and PU is right. It stinks. No, I'm just kidding. PU foam. It is a closed cell foam that is a do-it-yourself kit. Again, whenever you buy it, it's going to come with a few items. Obviously, it's coming with your expander foam. It's going to come with a foam gun cleaner. You're going to get things like a nozzle or a spray gun that comes with the kit. They're going to send you some other things too in there, some PPE, wear it, gloves, goggles, mask. They will also give you a full suit, white suit. There is a limited level of skill required for doing something like this. If you don't feel comfortable doing it, then you may want to consider hiring a professional. I am not a professional. I want to make that point clear abundantly throughout this video. However, I was able to do this. Plan on wasting one can. I will be honest. Plan on wasting one can. When you buy the kits, they're sold in different sizes, 6, 12, etc. I think at that point they're like basically increments of 6. And whenever you buy the kit, it will come with one box of the PPE in there, as well as all this other kind of wonderful stuff here too, and the cans themselves and the cleaner and all that kind of stuff is going to be in there too. It's not a bad deal. So to do this spray foam on both these walls was $170, I think was the kit off of Amazon. Not terrible. If I were paying somebody to do this, it would obviously cost a lot more than that. But I'm going to take you through the whole project, basically from start to finish, how it went, what we learned, if I would do this again or not, and ultimately what other tips and tricks that I can give to you. So whenever you order the kit, this is what you're looking at. This is the foam itself. So again, this is for just normal reference sake. Big difference between the two. Each one of these cans will do, according to this, 20 board feet. And a board foot is, at least in this case anyways, it is is 1 square foot of wood that is 1 inch thick. So when this thing says it should do 20 board feet, that means it should do, if you were to create squares, each one of those 1 square foot, and then lay a piece of insulation on there 1 inch thick, it should do 20 of those. Now these are 10-foot high walls. So the kit that I have purchased should be enough to put up a 1 inch barrier along both walls completely. This is a closed cell foam. There's 2 types. You have an open cell and closed cell. So what we're going to do is we're going to attempt to coat, again, the top half. Now my plan here today is that I'm going to start in this space over here. All right, I've got a couple ladders here. I'm going to start in the space over here and work my way down is what I will probably do. Once I have this wall done, I will turn my attention to the corner over here, and then I will backfill, each of the top sections anyways, down to this 4-foot, level. All right, let's get suited up. All the safety gear is going to be in here. I would recommend wearing it. It's going to be hot, especially today. We had a thunder boomer come through here about 2 hours ago, give or take, and it was, it was a good downpour for a better part of an hour. And so we went inside the house and ate us a little something, came back out afterwards, and now we're good to go. Okay. I gotta say the eye protection gear is not terrible. At least it doesn't look terrible. This is the protective suit. If I'm reading the things right, there should be 2 suits in this kit, one here and one in the other one. This is the foam gun cleaner. All right, that's interesting. This mask reminds me of what we were wearing a few years ago everywhere we went. You know, you went inside a store. Gloves. Some people were wearing those everywhere they went. Wow. Well, the my hands are quite literally soaked right now. I am soaked right now from sweat. Obviously, I didn't take a shower. My word. That's hot. Goodness. If I look like I took a shower and just put my clothes on, I promise you that's not what I did. This suit is hot doing this. Well, first impressions. I think that the 3.5 rating that these things typically come with, it makes sense. I have to say 3.5 stars. I would say that's probably about where I would place it, is in the 3.5-ish range. I would think that with what I've done, truthfully, the 4 cans should have actually covered. And as you can tell, I still have areas here that I haven't gotten to yet. You can't see it. I'll show you here in a second. There are areas here I haven't gotten to yet. They're on the lower side, below the window, the middle, and such. So I don't think that the estimation is perfectly in line. Now, maybe in their facility where they're testing with experts who do this all the time, yes, that is a possibility. So I can't completely fault them. And there may be a few areas where I did a little bit of overspraying, but then there are also going to be areas where I didn't. Given the fact that this is a product that you can do yourself, this is a product that you can buy and not have to worry about going out to hire someone to come in and do this for you. I would still say that this is probably something that is worth considering. Even the fact that this is a mess, even the fact that you're not going to get necessarily every single square foot covered the way that you necessarily want to, with at least an inch of insulation, spray on here at least. I would still say it's something I would certainly consider doing myself. So overall, I would say it's worth pursuing as a project, something you can save yourself a little bit of money with. I am emptying these cans out. That I will say is good. I'm not touching any of this right now with my hands, obviously. I've got it on the ground a little bit through here, and as I'm stepping in, I can still feel the stickiness on my boots. So there is that. So what I'm going to do right now is go ahead and just take a little bit of a break, give me something to drink, some water, and then I'm going to come back and finish up the last 2 cans, and then we'll show you the final results. Okay, I am back at it. I got me some water and an oatmeal cookie. So I'm refreshed and ready to go. Actually, folks, I'm not refreshed and ready to go. I am still sweating like crazy. Don't have a choice. So we gotta get it done. So I'm gonna go ahead and suit back up. Find my suit. Where's the rest of my stuff at? I took it off earlier. I was just get everything off of me. Mask. These are like those ones that they give you, like I said, during COVID. Everyone was wearing around. They're not that great, but they're better than nothing. Eye protection, I'm not too bad with the eye protection, honestly. They're not too bad. Instead, I'm just going to wear this, and you'll have to see me. Now, I will say this is the worst part. It's not that the mask is bad. It's just that it's hot, and this thing does fog up. And that's nothing against them. About any mask I've ever used,
they're going to have, unless they're like perfectly sealed, they're going to have, you know, places where air is going to get through, and so you're going to end up with problems with that. So So anyways, I came outside here to cool off a little bit. It's raining now. So I came outside to cool off for a minute. It's hot in there, in this suit especially. That's the bad thing about doing this project, is that you're going to get hot. But you need to do it on a day whenever it actually is warm. That's the thing. You have to do it on a day when it's warm. Not a day when it's cold. My hair's a mess. I'm a mess. Shirt's wet. I look like I just got out of the shower and just, you know, jumped into my clothes, is the way I look right now. And I'm sorry for that, folks. It's, you know, we're here. We're real here on Homesteading Outlaws. There's no AI. So it'd be great if I could hire an AI to come in there and do that right now, wouldn't it? Too bad that doesn't work that way. But anyways, I did manage to get that wall complete, and I am happy with the finished product overall. I mean, for something that I'm basically doing myself, it's not that bad. Honestly, it's not that bad. I think that if I were a professional doing this, it would look different. If I were someone who had the right equipment, you know, tools and everything else, and years of experience, it would look different, I'm sure. But the other thing too is that really part of this is just trying to get the right spread with the nozzle, getting things just right. If you don't have enough pressure, then it doesn't come out in the right spray pattern. What it does is it comes out, and it's almost like, you know how whenever you're putting in expandifoam, how that stuff does, it almost comes out globby like that. So it's not really painting it on. On the other hand, if you put too much pressure onto it, then it actually blows it everywhere, and you end up wasting some of the material, some of the spray foam. So that's the bad part. So you're kind of caught between enough and too much, you know, just the right amount. Let's get the right amount on here, and that's the issue. Another thing too is that you're going to get messy. I have spray foam on me at this point, as I would expect. Truthfully, I do have spray foam on me, so there is that. And it's not bad. I didn't get a ton of it on me, but I got some. And so if you're going to try doing this and just wear your normal clothes, I would say no, don't do that. Use the protective equipment. Use the PPE that it comes with, the face mask, eye shield, all that kind of stuff. Use all that, and definitely take your time walking through this project to ensure that you get the kind of results that you're wanting. But take your time, walk through the project, and don't be afraid. Don't be afraid to waste a can. I guess you're going to waste a can, and that's fine. Do that, just to test things out, figure out how you need to get the gun just right. Because whenever you're using the gun, there is a certain art to it. I'm not displeased with the quality of the finished insulation. The actual material, once this stuff hardens, is really hard. It's really firm. So I'm not displeased with that in the least. So here was the finished product on the long wall over here. Overall, not too bad. Turned out pretty good, I think. So one of the complaints I had earlier was how it was fanning out using just the straw nozzle, I guess you could call it. This. It really, whenever it would spray out, it wasn't doing very well. So I switched over to this style nozzle instead. And it worked actually a lot better. Now, I do like the fact that I was able to meter out the product a lot better
than what I was able to do with just the straw nozzles. The product itself seemed to do well. It's filling the gaps really nice. What I did was I went through in any area where OSB was meeting OSB. I went ahead and hit that area first. Again, my goal here was to try and air seal as much as I can, kind of like how you get with the great stuff or expand the foam, the traditional products, where you're really trying to seal things off to allow no penetration. I went ahead and started off with all of those places. I will say that having this up already, the room does seem to be a little more sound insulated. I can't prove that, it just seems to be a little quieter between the space next door versus here, just a little bit. So I think the product probably actually might work. I'm not surprised. I guess it's just I'm glad that it probably will end up working. We will be backfilling the cavities completely with additional insulation. So as I said before, this is just round 1. So once we get to round 2, then that will make up the rest of it. And of course, obviously we have sheetrock going on top of it too. In terms of cost, this is about $170 for using this product today in just this area only. And that's a lot of money to spend on basically an inch of insulation over 240 board feet ish. And that's not even the full 240 board feet. Truthfully, we actually had, a little bit less than that. And so some areas, as I showed you, some areas were a little bit beyond the 1 inch. Other areas, again, I'm seeing sheetrock, or not sheetrock, but OSB through it in some of those spots. So that does bother me a little bit. I tried to go back through and to do a little bit of extra overspray to kind of fill those areas in. The problem is that you're kind of caught between one of two things. I thought when I was doing this earlier, as I told you, what you might want to do is go through and do a thin layer and then come back and do another layer on top of it. I don't know if that's the right solution. I really don't. And the reason I don't know that's the right solution is that it doesn't seem to work that well. I mean, you can do that, and it will certainly seal it up, but then you're wasting product. If you're trying to get the coverage that you're looking for, it's really almost like you have to hit it and get it right the very first time, and that means again finding that right spot in the nozzle and in the spray gun, to where whenever you squeeze it, it is doing exactly what it's supposed to do. Where you have just the right amount of product being metered out. And that's obviously it's a science, but it's also an art in the sense that you're going to have to spend time going through and figuring that out. But over here, I mean, whenever I use the gun at the right level, the right distance, the right everything came together, and it did good in that one area. But it was a wider area, and I was at the right distance, and again using the right amount of squeeze on the trigger, and it worked. So you go to a different area and you change it a little bit, and well, again, the results change. So there's a learning curve attached to it, and you need to keep that in mind. Again, like I said before, don't be afraid to waste a can. You might need to plan on wasting a can or two, truthfully, to get everything dialed in just right. I can tell a difference standing where I'm at right now. The room is quieter as a result of the insulation. It did do its job, at least as far as sound insulation goes. I can't say how it's going to do in terms, I'm sure it's going to do better in terms of being able to stop air gaps and leaks and things. Yes, it will do better. I have no doubt about that. And once we put all the insulation up on these walls, it's going to be fine. We're going to have plenty of insulation in here, and the room will be nice and quiet and air sealed and everything else like I wanted. But anyways, overall, I would say that this to me was a win still. So that's it for today. I hope you enjoyed the experience, and if you have questions, comments, concerns, thoughts, by all means, leave them in the comments below, and we'll be glad to, talk about whatever it is. If you had advice, please, by all means, share it. I'm not an expert at this. I don't claim to be an expert. I can't say that or stress that enough. I am not an expert at this material. I am a novice who decided to take a chance on seeing how it turned out, and I'm pleased with the overall results. That's it for now. I'm going to go ahead and leave you with that. Again, if you got questions, comments, concerns, leave them below, and we'll be glad to talk about them. So thanks for now. Bye.